The crossing to Apo Island is a bit bouncy, but a lot of fun in our exotic bancas. It portends the good time we're going to have in the Philippines, where scuba diving is as easy as falling off a boat. The bubbles clear and we find ourselves in one of the most astonishing coral reefs we've ever seen. Five by five is radio speak for loud and clear, and that's exactly how Dumaguete comes in. We're suspended in the water column in stunned amazement, and then we remember we're here with cameras, and there's work to be done. This story about the Philippines begins, oddly enough, in Chicago. We've been invited to Dumaguete in the southern Philippines by noted underwater photographer Lynn Funkhauser of Chicago. My good friend and mentor Stan Waterman is going too. At the tender age of 86, he still has a dive schedule the envy of divers a quarter his age. At O'Hare Airport, we board our Japan Air flight, a 747 with its elegant first-class cabin upstairs. Unfortunately, our seats are way back here. A 12-hour flight carries us to Japan, then another 6-hour jump to Manila. This is a vibrant city and one of the most important capitals in Southeast Asia. We check into our rooms at the Dusit Thani and pause for a moment to enjoy the music of an angelic performer in the lobby. Manila is the home of MIT. It's a city that never sleeps. Manila has been under many flags since colonial times, and the city reflects every era. On an uncharacteristically quiet hillside overlooking the city lies the World War II Memorial. Many a brave soldier lays at rest here. The long-time alliance between the U.S. and the Philippines is profoundly evident here, and the gallant ones are recalled in the halls of honor. I have to wonder if I'm related to any of them. I am indebted to all. Whether rock or traditional, electronic or acoustic, music is the beating heart of Manila. One of the more popular haunts is the Hard Rock Cafe. Arriving in Dumaguete in the south, we experience our first jeepney. There are 32 passengers in this one, 13 on each side, 1 in the middle, 3 standing on the back, and 2 in the front. And, like they say here, there's always room for 1 more. Most jeepneys have 2 operators, a driver, and a guy in the back to collect all the money. Nothing says integrity like a man in a mask.
Work for the Lone Ranger.
But right about now, this dusty road's got me thinking one thing. I've got the urge to submerge. My wingman, or dive master, is named Wing. He takes me to a site called Sahara, where we run into these rare multi-bar pipefish. Here, Wing is shadowed by a little puffer. I put a finger into the shot to show how tiny this little cuttlefish is. And this one tries to pass itself off as a spent parrotfish cocoon. Its cover blown, it swims away, and I could swear it flipped me off. A banded coral shrimp and a tiny crab survey their domain. A moray eel has made a home in a discarded tire. And these guys look like they've been hitting the bottle. Lionfish are everywhere. This one shares its space with a triggerfish. Like so many sites off Dumaguete, Sahara is known for muck diving, but don't think for a minute that there's no life in this desert. Stan Waterman and Marco Inocencio go off in search of seahorses. I don't know about you, but this flatworm was totally blown away. At a dive site called Car, we see the unique partnership between the goby and the critter I call the shrimp dozer, the obsessive-compulsive neat freak. Not so industrious are the shrimp, who seem to be perfectly content just looking cute. A little cuttlefish regards us with its inscrutable gaze, while a sea moth traverses the sandy bottom. A devilfish digs in, turning itself into a booby trap. And a pair of ornate ghost pipefish lay in ambush. This shot was particularly gratifying. A frogfish no bigger than the end of my thumb sends out its lure and strikes. Our base of operations in Dumaguete is Atlantis Dive Resort, an unassuming sign and a minefield of a road don't adequately prepare us for the beauty within. Sometimes you've just got to stop and smell the frangipani. Atlantis must have been designed by underwater camera people, and they've thought of everything. It's got a spacious camera room with 110 and 240-volt charging stations, and everything else a diver needs. They have good rental gear, a really cool classroom, and tanks for the memories. We're lucky enough to be here on Thatching Day. A pair of local craftsmen, brothers in fact, skillfully apply thatch and masonry to the roof of the reception area. Morning comes and local canoes and bancas prepare for a day at sea. We prepare in our own special way with a little caffeine. Today we're going to a fabled place, Apo Island, about 40 minutes away. The banca is alive with activity as divers prepare for a very special day on this tiny dot in a hidden corner of the Sulu Sea.
You notice that all the faces are terror-stricken?
Some 40 years ago, cyanide and dynamite fishing all but completely destroyed the reef around Apo. An experimental marine reserve was created here in the 1970s. Protected areas were established around the islands, allowing fish populations to recover and proliferate. This led to larger catches outside the no-fishing zones and gave rise to a thriving tourist trade. Dive professionals now call these reefs astonishing, and Apo Island is living proof of the success of thoughtful conservation practices. A sea snake shows us around, and a puffer gets some detailing work. A Titan trigger chomps on coral as though it were chewing gum. And a mimic roundhead seems to have eyes in the back of its head. Octocorals slurp away in the water column. A pajama cardinal shows off its fashion sense. A flying crinoid looks like it's in a snow globe, while a juvenile filefish hovers nearby. This place has nudibranchs out the wazoo. We admire a fashionista flatworm, and I try the old pull my finger trick on a passing Nimbrotha. Wing motions us over to an orangutan crab scaling a bubble coral. A young lionfish looks like it has curb feelers, and a sea cucumber scrounges for breakfast. This is called Clownfish City. Wonder why they call it that. This might as well be called Shrimp City, as these little guys obviously have squatting rights. We come across an enclosed field of blue staghorn coral. There's plenty of room for all of us to get some good shots. Predators like this trevally and a herd of horse eyes patrol the perimeter. And Wing upstages a sea star, as a moray watches from its pimped-out lair. Reluctantly, we climb back aboard the bancas and head back to the barn. The next morning, we take the jeepneys to Darwin and the Malatapai market. This is where it's all happening, folks. A steady stream of fish, produce, and livestock flows in and out of here like the tide. It's a culinary adventure of epic scale, with fried food, roasted pig, and even some vegetarian options. Now, we'd rather ride out of here on this, and we pass on pedal power, but we end up leaving on one of the ubiquitous motorized trikes. There must be millions of these things all over Southeast Asia. Ours delivers us to the city of Dumaguete, home of the famous bell tower. This was an early warning system for pirate raids back in the day. Here at the marketplace, you can get poultry freshly cut or on the hoof, and vegetarian options. Silliman University conjures up images of John Cleese and Michael Palin in a cap and gown, but it's actually a well-regarded school named for old Horace here. It's the country's first Protestant university and the first American university in Asia. Yep, that's what we need. More lawyers. But in spite of that, we really love this town, and who knows? Every diver knows that pier diving is hard to beat. The Ducomi Pier in Dumaguete proves that. The pilings are resplendent in corals, sponges, and all manner of marine life, like diamond fish and Mr. Wigglebutt here. And like every other dive site around here, more nudibranchs than you can shake a lens at. A pair of pipefish prowls for a snack, while young grunts hide out in a field of urchins. As usual, seahorses are plentiful. We find crabs hard at work and just hanging out as a devilfish trudges along the bottom. There are plenty of frogfish too, with faces only a mother could love, and we're not too sure about her. A cuttlefish shows us the way out. Not that we want to jeopardize our PG rating, but the prudish or weak at heart should walk, not run, to the nearest exit. Here at the Tell Motel, it begins innocently enough, with some billing and cooing. You know, the usual first date stuff. But give one of these male mandarin fish an inch and, well, you know the rest. So let's just put on some pseudo Barry White and be shameless voyeurs for a while. The mandarin fish call it a night, and so do we. As if by magic, circular batfish transport us from the southern Philippines to the shore of Lake Michigan, where our journey began. This, of course, is the John G. Shedd Aquarium in Chicago. Its Wild Reef exhibit was inspired by none other than Apo Island. The exhibit's designer is Brian Schutze.
So it's telling a great story. It's referencing the beauty of not only the people and the culture, but of what's underwater and what's above water, but in particular what's underwater. And it takes you through this almost dream world of reality as you swim through the reefs of the Philippines. You meet the people, you see the animals that live there, and you learn how all of that connected together is why it can be successful.
Exhibit curator George Parsons.
Being a scientist, I did some research and looked it through several books and compiled the species list and had it all pictured in my head. But still, when I jumped in that water, it was just mind blowing. I have a little dive slate that I showed my dive partner while we were diving, and I actually wrote on it, "I could die now." I actually still have the dive slate upstairs in my office.
From dead reefs to reefs to die for, Apo is a true conservation success story, and we shall return. Just remember, what happens in Dumaguete stays in your heart forever. I'm Paul Cater Deaton, and I'll see you under the bubbles. Dumaguete 5x5 is a production of Paul Cater Deaton, who is solely responsible for its content. For a transcript of the program, reset the DVD and write down everything I say.